Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Prosaic podcast. My name is Cameron. I'm your host. And roll call.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
My name is Toku, and I'm here. Present.
This is Dragon. You just messed this up.
I'm present, and my name's Toku.
Beep bop boop.
He looks in physical pain.
Did you forget your name? But did you already say it?
You messed it up. You interrupted me.
Go ahead.
No, you took too long.
Okay. Next.
I also think you're farther away from your mic than you're supposed to be.
This is Dragon. Beep bop boop.
And this is Dano. Welcome to the Prosaic podcast.
All right, everyone. Before we jump into our first segment today, I actually have a question for you guys. Also, I'd like to tell a story about the time that a Home Depot employee thought that we needed wall carpet, like for a movie theater. We went to Home Depot. We're looking at getting a backsplash for behind our oven. And in the Home Depot, it says free carpet installation. And I'm like, oh, shit. I was talking to Dragon about it, and Dragon goes, you know what? Tile is just carpet for your wall. I wonder if they'll install it for free. So we walk over to this guy. We're like, hey, we need to come up with some tiles for a backsplash for our wall. And he's like, okay, cool, no worries. And as we're walking over there, we go, so we also noticed that you install carpet for free, and tile is like carpet for your wall. Would you install that for free? And he goes, yeah, let me go see something. And he comes back. He goes, now what kind of carpet were you guys thinking for your walls? He didn't, I said specifically, we need tile. Could you install it for free? What kind of carpet do you want on your wall? Do you want it for a movie theater? Bitch, what the fuck?
I think he was probably thinking nobody would pull his leg. And then we just kind of trolled him.
I wasn't with you guys.
Wall carpet.
But maybe I should go back and ask for wall carpet, and then he'd get pissed off or something.
Oh, yeah, because you weren't there.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
We went back in probably like a couple days later, and he wouldn't say hi to me. He was very upset.
Slime poker.
Dragon, you doing okay over there?
Any words?
Beep bop boop. Doing podcasty stuff.
He looks physically in pain. I'm trying to figure out what happened.
Did Toku do something to you?
You can tell me anything.
Show us on the hammer right in front of you where Toku hurt you. You can pick up the hammer.
He's picking up the hammer.
What does the hammer imply, though?
You are the hammer, Toku.
He's setting down the hammer on the ground.
Oh my.
And he
Why is
spit on the
spitting
hammer.
So you spit on Toku?
Now he's staring at Toku longingly.
I feel uncomfortable right now.
He's taking off his glasses. He's taking off his shirt.
Can you stop?
This was meant to be.
Can we move on to the next
All
one?
right, so do you guys think it's better to have loved and lost, or to have never loved at all?
Never loved it all, because then you're not left with the barren scar in your chest, the pain every night, the longing for more, never to find it.
Did something happen?
Holy, that was dark, Dragon.
That turned to turn for the worse. I mean, I agree with him, but because I was thinking about it, it's like, oh, but then you have all those happy memories, but then it's like, oh, you have all those happy memories with that bitch. You know, it's like,
That's what people say, dude, but the sadness outweighs the happiness. You feel sadness more, it hurts more, it's always there. It's just hidden behind the happiness temporarily, only to come back in full force.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's better to have never loved.
I'm on the other side.
Never fall in love.
What if you fall in love and then you get your heart broken, and then a couple years later you fall in love again? Does it fix the pain of that sadness? I think it does, right? You're like moving on. That person
All
like
I know
fixes.
is I've got this achy pain in my heart day in, day out.
Your achy breaky heart.
No. I hate Billie Eilish.
It's Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billie Ray Eilish.
That's not correct.
Billiard eyelash.
I would say, I don't know. I still would have that love piece, because then you move along and the next person that comes around, it kind of just fixes it almost. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have to fix it yourself. The problem of having that emptiness. But
Daniel, you've single-handedly patched the same wall 3 times, and it gets worse every time. The hole gets bigger.
no, I fixed the wall. What do you mean?
The wall is fixed now.
I will say I do need to put probably a second layer of paint on there.
But at least he got the
I
experience.
don't think it was enough.
Right?
Yeah, he got the experience. Do you guys want to continue on this sad path more, or do you want to go to Toku
We
Tastes?
should move on because I
Let's go to
think
the
Life's
next
gonna
segment.
break.
All right, so we're going to do Toku Tastes. This time it's going to be, I'm going to make him a cocktail without him knowing what's in it, and he's going to have to guess. So we can either do one of two things here. We can either make Toku close his eyes, or we can make him leave the room, and that way you guys can talk about what's going in the drink, etc.
Toku, please go take your shit.
Yeah,
I don't need to.
He said he had to go take a shit earlier. Toku, go upstairs and take a shit.
It went up and it's gone.
Nah, I think we
Makes
should blindfold
stinky
him.
poo-poos.
Let's blindfold him, and then we'll walk through what's
let's
in it
gag-
after.
gag him
after
too.
Toku gives
Don't
us,
gag
gives
me.
us
Okay.
his review.
Toku, blindfold
Plug
yourself.
your
You two
ears.
talk while I make
he
it.
can see it. Plug your ears too. Alright, now let's talk shit about Toku, dude. Okay, so this guy will just leave for like 5 days at a time, not say a word to anyone. Okay, it's frustrating because you're thinking of plans to kick it with the boys.
I think his eyes are closed, not his ears.
I'm just saying, sometimes you're trying to kick with the boys and then he's gone for 5 days and no one has any will to do anything because it's just like 3 boys instead of the 4 boys. We can't play 4-player games, and he does it without telling us. And I don't think he's ever felt bad for it.
You bring up a good point because we just barely watched Kingsman, and
We're
since he was
rewatching
gone,
them because we
now
enjoyed
have
them
to
so
rewatch
much.
it.
We enjoyed them so much, we wanted him to be there, and now we're gonna rewatch them. It's not bad; they're good movies, but he didn't share in that experience with us with Cameron's first time. Me and Dano had seen him, but just saying, like, one of the most selfish people I've ever had the displeasure of working with, let alone living with.
Toku, what do you have to say for yourself?
I don't think he can hear it. There you go.
Oh, he actually plugged his ears.
I told him to do both.
Oh, okay. From
But
here, it looks like he's just
Cam,
covering his eyes.
what's that
but-
drink like? He might be able to hear a little bit, so we'll just leave the entire mystery and we'll explain it after. I think that kind of makes it nice and cool.
All right, looks like Cam's in the final phases of his drink making, which he just spilled
Just
out.
How
tip,
much
just
longer?
tip it once and then back up.
Yeah, I should have done that.
You just it mixes like instantly.
All right. Tap him on the shoulder so he
Why'd you
knows.
have to spit in it?
You're good, Toku. Your drink's on the right there.
In the blue cup.
Drink it real slow.
I smell it.
What are you smelling?
It smells like a cocktail.
Does it smell sweet? Does it smell bitter? Sour?
Sweet.
Describe what it looks like.
Yeah.
What colors do you see minus the blue cup?
It's hard to see. It looks blue, but I can't quite tell because of the cup.
All right, let's give it a taste.
Sorry, did I say right side of you? I meant left side. That's not the right
Oh,
one.
that's really sweet. Oh. That's weird.
Yep, pass it around.
We're on a segment called Taste Dragon, or shit, Dragon Tastes.
Yeah, Taste Dragon comes later on our OnlyFans.
It's like
It smells like an otter pop, so I'm assuming
it's
it's,
like-
sweet.
Mountain Dew or something in there.
Are we letting him guess now?
Well, that's one of the things for sure. It tastes
Mountain
like
Dew is not in it.
really.
There's no Mountain Dew in that.
It tastes like that one Mountain Dew that tastes like
So
Jell-O.
although it smelled citrusy upon glance, it does not taste citrusy. It literally tastes like a
It's like really
a pink
sweet.
and like a grape otter pop mix.
Yeah,
The pink Otter Pop slaps though.
it's really
I'd like
sugary.
I'd like some more carbonation in it.
All right, this is a segment called Dano Tastes.
It's really sweet.
I like that.
It's good.
It tastes good. It's almost like peachy, like
Like a peach.
I don't know, peach flavor with some
I taste
lime or lemon.
banana.
Little banana. I get a little banana flavor.
It's very
in there.
fruity.
It's like a Capri Sun.
Yeah, it's really good.
Try it again.
All right, Toku, try it again and give us a review out of 10.
And tell us what you think's in it after the review.
Out of 10, probably give it a 6.
6 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's better than the 3 you gave the other drink.
What do you give it, Lamb?
It's just too simple for me. I like a little more intricacy. Intricacy in my cocktails. I'm gonna give this one a 4.
I like it. I think it's a lot more simple than last week's cocktail. It's definitely not as strong. It's more subtle. I'm going to give this a 7. 7
Nice.
out of 10. I dig it. What do you give it, Mr. Cam, the person that made it?
Yeah, it's really sweet. I'd drink it. I'm probably going to give it a 7 also.
Nice.
7's pretty good. What do you think's in it, Toku?
Alcohol.
God damn it, I hate you so much.
Am I wrong?
I'm gonna go with lime rum, strawberry banana sparkling water on ice.
What do you think?
I would say that's probably a good guess. I would take out the strawberry banana sparkling water and replace it with an apple taste.
What do you think?
I think it's definitely rum because it's like easy to put down. But I don't know what rum is. Probably the lime, since we have it. And then some sort of sparkling water. I don't know.
Based on the flavors, what sparkling water are you willing to put it under?
I want to try it one more time.
Keep in mind, we only bought 8 sparkling waters today. I mean, that's kind of a lot, but not all of them are citrusy.
I don't know what that is. Is that coconut? I think it's coconut.
Toku's the closest out of any of you. It is berry vodka with pineapple coconut sparkling water.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
I am allergic to pineapple.
I feel like this should have been told before.
I have said that so many times.
I've never
in
heard
my
you say
life.
that.
Are you gonna be okay?
I just ingested something I'm allergic to. What do you think, Toku? I'm gonna shit my brains out.
He's gonna shit his brains out in a couple hours.
I have so many brains, dude. It's gonna be a big poo poo.
It's not my fault. I'll have you know.
Well, this has been Toku Tastes.
I wasn't expecting it to become Dragon Tastes again.
I think it's Dragon's gonna have an allergic reaction and shit himself.
Welcome to Wired Weekly with Dragon. This is a segment in which I try coffee and I let you know if coffee still sucks.
That coffee's not gonna sit well with what you just had.
So last week I tried coffee and my verdict was that coffee still sucks. This week I have a new type of coffee. Dano knows more about it than I do. Dano?
Yeah, it's just a generic Sam's Club black coffee. That's the best way to describe that. It's like Folgers, but Sam's Club made it. So,
All right, well, without any further ado, I will try this delicious cup of coffee brewed by my best friend.
wow.
So still no creamer or nothing, just straight black coffee.
I love the aftertaste of coffee, don't get me wrong, but this one doesn't taste as watery as last week. I'll give it that. There's more flavor to this one. It's fuller in taste. Coffee still kind of sucks, but it's better than it sucked last week.
You like this
has
one more?
Yeah, I like this one more.
Do you think you'd like it more with like a creamer instead of just straight black?
I'm
Creamer,
not really
sugar?
I'm not craving any creamy in it. It's like a teeny bitter, but I think that's just kind of coffee. I'm not craving any sort of creamy texture in it, silkiness or anything like that. I think it's as good as black coffee can get, but we will try to maybe shop around and find other black coffee. This has been Wired Weekly with Dragon.
All right, thank you, Dragon. Good to know coffee still sucks, but we're getting there. Let's move on to some Yahoo questions. I got a really good one for you this week. What about the 15 trailers on Facebook that they are giving away for free because they cannot be sold?
What?
Wait,
Repeat.
What?
What about the 15 trailers on Facebook that they are giving away free because they cannot be sold?
What about that? Where do
Is
you
this
find
like
that?
a Facebook marketplace? They're giving away trailers,
I think so.
or is it like movie trailers?
I think it's like a camping trailer.
Is Facebook themselves giving away these trailers, or like who's
The
actually
Facebook
giving
market.
away?
The question doesn't specify. It
Well,
just says, what about the 15 trailers on Facebook that they're giving away free because they cannot be sold?
It's kind of a funny story, actually. One time, me and the boys were on the Facebook market. We were browsing. We found this LeBron James basketball card.
Oh yeah.
And it came with like this Lego figurine of LeBron James. And it was like super good condition. And the girl had put in her ad, she's like, my ex-boyfriend cheated on me. And he has a bunch of stuff here and I'm selling it. And we carefully weighed the options on the consequences of perhaps buying a card of someone that really values it in an attempt of, revenge from the ex-girlfriend. And we decided it'd be best not to get the card. So I'm assuming, because we thought it could be a scam, we could get hurt. So if they're just giving away trailers because they can't be sold and so generic, perhaps it's a similar situation.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like $200, and she said she was getting rid of all of his basketball cards, and it was like this giant collection. And in the collection, you could see some super rare cards. You had like LeBron James rookie card. You had a Kobe Bryant signed jersey card. You had a Michael Jordan Fleet rookie card that was graded and in a case. And that was kind of the debate on, would this guy come after us if he found out we bought his cards? And so we decided not to do it.
She also said in the ad that she's just trying to get money to get her ring back because it seems like he had an engagement ring for her or something along that. So she's just like, I'm just going to get what money I can from all his stuff and get myself a replica ring.
We had like a 2-hour whiteboard conversation about this where we drew it on the whiteboard, pros, cons.
The moral of the story, I think, from the trailer question, though, is if it's too good to be true, it's probably a scam.
They're probably like drugs in there, right?
Yeah,
Or if they can't be
like,
sold, they're
there's-
improperly built and they might malfunction.
15
probably
free
stolen.
trailers.
Like if I feel like people would want to buy a trailer. Like that's something that people actually look for.
And if they're free, how do you know you're not like dismantling a crime?
And that's about the 15 trailers on Facebook that they're being given away for free because they cannot be sold. Next question. How come women can get boob jobs, but guys can't get dick jobs?
I think they can.
Is that a thing? I've never heard of that.
You can like get injections and I don't know too much about the surgery, but I'm pretty sure you can get injections that maintain.
Dan was like, yeah, you can get injections. It's like $50 an injection.
Like, how do you know
They do it
this?
right down the street over here.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but I mean, I've heard about
I
it.
feel like the penis is a functioning organ. The boobs kind of just sit there, and like they probably won't function when you fill them with silicone or whatever. So it's like you could maybe get a dick job, but it's not gonna. It's either gonna be always erect or it's not gonna function. So like, yeah, maybe you can stretch it and extend it or whatever, but it might not work. Think about it.
Can you get like? Aren't there like dick enlargement pills that you can take?
I mean, a circumcision by all definition is a dick job.
That's true.
Yeah, if you had a circumcision, you had a dick job.
But I think they're meaning like
You want a
a
fat
job
dick?
to fatten up your dick.
I want a fat dick.
Is that possible? I don't think it is.
I think it exists.
I've heard people stretching it lengthwise. How do you widen it?
Yeah,
I would not want that surgery. I would not want a knife anywhere near down there. Unless completely necessary. I would rather take a pill.
So I think to answer the question, it's impractical and risky and more than likely will leave you impotent and lacking sexual pleasure.
But doable.
But doable.
Try it out. Let us know. Thank you.
I got a couple more here depending on how long they go. My face feels like a cheeseburger. Is this normal?
for sure. Because if you ate a cheeseburger or more than one cheeseburger, you probably have a face that feels like a cheeseburger.
But what feels like a cheese? Like, is he talking about like the bun, the
Like
whole,
the
like the actual
sesame
burger
seeds,
itself?
Do you think it's like zits on their face that kind of feel like sesame seeds? Like my face feels like a cheeseburger.
What's a
because
cheeseburger
of the
is
ridges
like-
of the sesame seeds.
Well, if it's just the patty with the cheese, it'd be all greasy and kind of not slimy, but melty. Right?
That's true. Or like greasy.
Maybe it's like
a really greasy face.
If it's like a delicious McDouble,
Cheeseburger. Well, the bun
then there's
is like
some
soft and
pickles,
squishy,
some
which
sliced
kind of like
onions,
your
some
face.
ketchup, some mustard, perhaps, on a
It,
bun with some cheese.
they do mention specifically a cheeseburger, not like a hamburger. So I'd assume they're talking about like the smooth greasiness of it.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're
I
saying.
feel like hamburgers are also greasy though.
So
Cheeseburgers, granted, you melt the cheese, it's gonna be a lot more
I would say
oily and greasy and
it's like
gross.
soft, squishy, oily, greasy. That's what I describe it.
he's asking if it's normal. So if it is more of the time feeling like a cheeseburger, then that's normal by your experience and your definition. But if it's not normally how you're feeling right now, it's probably abnormal.
Yeah, I can see that. Like if your face normally feels like a cheeseburger, then it's probably normal. Is it safe to eat microwave food during pregnancy?
To microwave?
Is it safe to eat microwave food during pregnancy?
Oh, to eat it.
I would
There's-
assume so.
There's a lot of microwave conspiracies on the internet, and I'm not going down that, but they're not supposed to be. They're a big radio wave factory. They're making us idiot dumbs.
What there's other things though,
Can you
like microwaves in our life that are give off those waves, right? Like our phones. They talk about that all the time. Like don't keep your phone super close to your bed because
Radio waves are different, aren't they?
are the,
radioactive waves, I think is what they're talking about. Because you're basically nuking your food in the microwave.
What you're doing is you're expanding the cells, like the water in the cell. That's why food often comes out dry in a microwave. It's expanding the water in the cell, and it heats it up that way, and it dries it out. But the heat expands and releases. It's exothermic and goes throughout the food, touching it, the heat that way, and then it's warm and it's piping hot because it warms from the outside in. That's why sometimes you have to mix it up.
I would say it probably depends on what you put in the microwave. If you're always eating microwave food, it has a high chance of probably harming you. But if you just cook stuff on the stove, that'd
Highly
probably be
preserved
better.
food in general, you should stay away from really processed foods. And if you're pregnant, are you microwaving a cheeseburger? What, maybe the cheeseburger is worse for you than the microwave.
That's true.
Yeah, I would say like it's recommended. Probably you don't, but I think it's like safe if you do it a few times. I don't know. Like it shouldn't affect you if it's just like a quick meal.
Try it out. Let us know how it works. Thank you.
Yeah, let us know if your baby comes out dumb. You can tweet us at Prosaic Podcast. Let us know how that turns out for you. Last one. What if 300 men from all different walks of life got together for a massive circle jerk?
Ooh.
There, it would be really messy for sure.
300 men.
Where would you gather?
You'd
with
have to
300
gather
men?
like an arena or something.
Would people watch?
What if it's sport?
Let's see. Let's do the math. You got 300 people. You need to be at least 2 meters apart for social distancing, of course. Really important.
You can't social
So,
distance when you're when you're
2
doing that.
meters between 300 people is 600 meters of space.
And you can assume they're standing in a circle, the same room.
It's a circle jerk. They could do two, like an inner circle. So, I mean, there's a couple
They'd
ways.
have to be kind of far, though, because, like, what if you, like, jizzed on the circle in front of you?
I think that's a risk they're willing to take from the question. So,
I think you need to. I mean, some people can't
how much
social
cum would
distance that,
300
right?
men
that's
produce?
a far length for some people to reach. I think you'd have to find very similar people. Long arm span.
They said
No,
from all walks of
all
life.
different
though.
walks of life.
There's some midgets in there.
Then I don't know if you can social distance that.
No.
That's,
What's the
It's a
question?
big
no-go.
room. It says, what if?
What if 300 men from all different walks of life got together for a massive circle jerk?
Then
That's probably the world's biggest circle jerk. So you
yeah,
might
that's a
get
world
Guinness
record, I
record.
think.
Yeah.
No, wait, would that be? What's the world record on that? Does anybody know?
I'm going to Google it.
I don't know if there's gonna be. You probably don't.
You probably don't want to Google it.
World
Oh, no.
record size circle jerk.
What if we already have the answer and we're just wasting time because like we have the answer available?
If that happened, who cleans that up?
Once lucky lady. That's what I was saying though. How much jizz do 300 men produce? That's got to be like at least like 2 cups.
Oh, at least.
Do you think every guy...
Two 8-ounce cups.
All right, there's not very many good answers because it's like the NASDAQ is the biggest circle jerk of all time and just like shit like that. So I couldn't find an accurate answer.
I mean,
Probably
the
5 minutes at 30.
NASDAQ stock market is kind of like every man from every work of life circle jerking each other off. I mean, and women. So
True.
it's already been done, I guess.
Yeah, there's probably at least 300 people there.
This might be the first question on Prosaic podcast history that's best left unanswered.
What happens if 300 men from different walks of life get together for a circle jerk? You don't want to know.
This has been Yahoo Questions with Prosaic Podcast. Next, we're moving to Taste Toku.
Don't-
Test Toku.
You're going to taste...
All right, hold on. That's
definitely
it.
not
Hold
gonna
on.
taste.
Please.
Hold on. I'm the host. I say when we move on. And I agree with Dragon. It's time to test
Don't
Toku.
taste me. You almost said it.
It's time to taste Toku. Onlyfans.com.
All right. Last week, we tested Toku on NHL teams.
And I did perfect.
He did pretty poorly,
You
but
made
I think
2,
we all
I
were
guess
pretty poor.
7.
5 correctly.
What? Dragon did pretty good.
Dragon actually surprised me. I didn't know he knew that many NHL
Dragon
teams.
cheated.
I used to go to hockey games.
Nice. So this week, we're going to test Toku on his memory skills, and I need you to name 10 NHL hockey teams. Toku, take it away.
You did pretty good, right? Should be easy for you.
You
Yeah.
got this, buddy.
God, I forgot what the first one I said was.
No pressure. You're doing worse than last week.
Oh God, I gotta get at least 5.
You can't name a single one.
A look of distress.
Oh wait, I actually there's the Capitals. I looked that up
The Capitals.
because I thought it was the Nationals.
that is a hockey team. We did not name that last week, and I'm surprised you knew that.
Okay, the reason I know that is because like remember when I said the Nationals last week?
Oh yeah,
I was trying to figure out what that team actually was, and it was Capitals.
the Capitals.
You got 1.
Nice.
Let's get 9 more.
I remember the other one. It's the Penguins.
2. That's
And then
good.
I remember from last week we talked about the Kings,
The Kings are 1. The
The
LA
LA
Kings.
the LA Kings.
Let's see if you can get more
That's
than
2.
5 this time. Let's get to 6.
There's the Ducks.
Ducks.
I remember
That's
that
4.
one.
Nice.
Yeah.
2.
There's the. Oh God. It starts with a B.
There's a lot of B's. There's a few. The biggest hint that I gave you last week was a lot of these teams share mascots with like middle school
Yeah.
and high school mascots.
And one is not Dragon.
And one is definitely not Dragon.
Yeah, that's more like an adult thing. It's not really like a...
Oh, well, it's kind of like it's like a childish mascot, so probably not middle school. It's like more like elementary.
It's like a mythological wonder.
um
You got 2 more. You got this.
the Bruins.
The Bruins. Good job. That's 5.
Let's go.
One more.
Okay.
One more.
Let me think.
No pressure.
There was like a bird one, I think, besides the Penguins. Like
It's AJ's dad's favorite team.
the Hawks,
Close.
Blackhawks.
Yes. 6.
That's
Let's
6.
go.
Bing, 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 bing.
You know, their theme song is a Fratello song. Blackhawks?
Oh, yeah.
It's what?
It's a Fratello song.
It's Chelsea
Really?
Dagger, right?
Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
Chelsea Dagger.
Well,
That doesn't go like that, but
I'm proud of you, Toku.
Nicely done.
That was leaps and bounds over last week.
I'm glad somebody's proud of me for once.
All right, so moving on. Do you have anything else you want to test him on? We're good to move.
We're good to move on.
All right, we got a new segment with Dragon. He didn't want to tell us what it was, so this is going to be a surprise for all of us.
So this is surprise segue with Dragon. Today I have a riddle for you guys. I'd like to hear your answers, and we'll get back to you next week with the answer.
Tweet us what you think the answer is at Prosaic Podcast.
So a man is talking to his sensei, and he says, "Sensei, what do you think my brain is made for? Is it just the container for my mind?" The sensei replies, "Well, what is your woman? Is she just a container for the child? That soft pink matter. Cotton candy. Majin Buu."
And this sounds really familiar, but I won't say
Let
anything.
me know what you think. I also have the reoccurring segment. We have Animal Facts with Dragon. He says, each week I give you a couple rundowns on some of my favorite animals recently, and we got some facts for you. Today's featured animal is the hippogriff. Well, what is a hippogriff? Well, you think it might be a hippo if you're just going off the name, right?
It's a fake creature.
It's a real creature, mythological. Hippogriff is a fantastical animal that has the horse of a body, the body of a horse, front legs,
Sounds fake.
and the wings and head of an eagle. The average hippogriff can weigh around 200 to 300 pounds. When fully grown, they can be up to 8 feet tall, standing on their hind legs. In all fours, hippogriffs around an average height of 8 feet tall, and with an average wingspan of 16 feet.
Hold on. You're going to tell me that an animal that stands 8 feet tall has a wingspan of 16 feet, which means they're also at least 8 feet long, weighs 200 pounds.
200 to 300 pounds on average.
Wait, is this the...
That's definitely fake.
Is this the creature in Harry Potter that like takes a swipe at Malfoy?
I think it's appeared in Harry Potter, but it's throughout mythology.
Okay.
But the diet and the habitat of hippogriffs, they're normally omnivores, but they prefer to eat small animals found in forests in which they live, such as wild ferrets and mokes. They can graze on vegetation of the forest they live in if they're not small enough animals around.
What's a moke?
It's a moke.
I need to know what a moke is.
They live among common creatures like centaurs, unicorns, and trolls that dwell in forbidden forests.
Oh, the common creatures.
This has been Animal Facts with Dragon. Tune in next week to find out what animal I'm thinking about.
A moke is a donkey.
A moke's a donkey.
They eat donkeys?
The more you know.
200-pound creatures?
These 200-pound massive creatures,
200
only
to 300 pounds. Yeah.
Are their bones hollow? Do they have nothing on the inside?
It says the body is a horse, so probably not hollow.
Aren't horses thousands of pounds?
200 to 300 pounds.
Weight makes no sense.
Did you find out what a moke was?
It's a donkey.
It's like an inferior horse. So
A mule.
No, it's...
yeah, like a mule could be a moke too. A donkey is a moke because it's an inferior horse.
Why is it called a moke,
It's
though?
a moke
I'm
like
sure
a
a
slur
camel-
for a
I
donkey.
think it's a mytholocal
It basically
version.
is
It's probably
not
a
as
fantasy
good.
version of a donkey. Right?
Yeah. I'm just wondering why would they call it a moke instead of just a donkey?
It's like a slur for a shitty horse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the piece of the in the dictionary it said inferior horse as well. So a donkey. A donkey is a good example. I'm sure like a camel falls under that. A mule.
Whoa, you're saying camels are
Camels
inferior?
store water.
Do
I mean, I
male
guess we
or
could look at
female
a
camels
moke
store the water?
pyramid and see.
Only females, really?
It said do male or females.
Oh, God, I don't know. I thought it was both. Well,
Thank you for the animal facts.
Find out next week when Animal Facts with Dragon will be featuring the camel.
all right. I hate to spoil the surprise for next week, everyone. But we're doing camels.
They'll feature camels.
There'll be another feature as well. I have another surprise segment.
Oh
next
my
week.
God, it's a double feature. It's like when they showed Son of Frankenstein and Son of Dracula at the same time.
It is nothing like that at all.
It's a double feature. You only had to pay for the one movie.
No one pays for this podcast.
He's not wrong.
I mean,
So for our next segment, I'm going to pass it on. I'm going to pass the torch to Cameron to introduce the next segment. This has been Dragon.
Yeah, so this one goes to Dano. We're going to get into the news.
Right into no, just kidding.
That guy's a racist.
Welcome to the news with Dano. And a lot of people on the internet have been asking, since we're such big basketball fans, this is very relevant to us. Why does Michael Jordan's eyes look yellow?
He has jaundice.
It's the Gatorade.
So that's the biggest. That's the biggest reason that you have yellow eyes is you've got some sort of disease like jaundice.
What if you're Gatorade out of your goddamn mind and you're sweating it?
You've got so much yellow Gatorade stored in your body, and it just like
His
Gatorade
tears
out
are
of your
yellow.
goddamn mind.
He's on the verge of crying every game.
I could see that yellow Gatorade coming out of the eyes.
They poured that on him. That poor man. Sticky showers all the time.
So a
Michael
doctor
Jordan.
That has watched the docuseries and followed some of these diseases says that it likely could be jaundice or something similar. He's got some sort of liver problem. But he says that fans should not worry if Michael Jordan is watching it very closely.
But can he confirm that he's watching it very closely so we don't have to worry?
I would assume if you're
so
Michael
weird.
Jordan, you're getting checkups pretty regularly.
Do you think he's hiding something?
So the other theory, people think that he dips his eyes in Hennessy at night because he's such a badass.
I don't think that's true.
He like takes him out and dips him in Hennessy? Like just rip like
Sounds like
He
has some
like takes a
sort of
bath in Hennessy.
bath,
Like
yeah.
he's just like
Would that turn your eyes yellow if you just dipped them in Hennessy?
cause liver failure. Could be jaundice.
dude, he dipped him in Hennessy causing jaundice.
He's got a good point here. If you're taking a bath in Hennessy and you're drinking it here and there, not taking care of your body, I'm sure there's a liver problem somewhere in there. Case closed.
Rest in peace, Michael Jordan.
He's not dead.
Yet.
Well, yeah. That will happen eventually.
Preemptive RIP, liver failure.
In other news, protests have been raging across the United States, and apparently, over the last few hours, protests have begun to arise in London and Berlin and Toronto, places where you wouldn't think that they'd arise from, but it's cool that the world's kind of coming together. Here in Salt Lake City, we had an incident where a guy pulled out a bow and tried to shoot some people in a really busy crowd. It was not successful. People crowded him and then lit his car on fire.
Are you telling me the bow and arrow didn't work as he intended?
Well, let's just say he's no Hawkeye.
I think the failure resulted in the high ground. He should have had a good vantage point, which he could get multiple shots off, and they would have to go up the building to get him, and then his
Had
car
he
would be
stood
safe.
on his car.
That'd be a little better, but
How many arrows does he
it
have?
seemed like
though?
he didn't even want to do it. Watching that video back, this man had some hotness. I believe he fell in love once and lost it, and now he has a similar pain that we all have of this empty hole in our chest that can't be filled by anything but concrete, and I hope the best comes to him.
Holy. What do you think his motive was to bring a bow to I don't even know what kind of protest you want to call that anymore.
I think he just carries
It's
it
supposed to
around.
be-
All
like-
Lives Matter protest, I think.
It was supposed to be a car protest where they social distanced in their cars and just kind of drove around. That's what it said, bro. I got invited.
It was I mean, I think a lot of these protests are supposed to be peaceful. But that was not the case here in Salt Lake City. We had a cop car get lit on fire and flipped over. And then this poor guy with a compound bow, his car got lit on fire as well. Luckily, the cops saved him.
My
They
one,
trashed the Capitol. There's graffiti everywhere. It's crazy.
my one criticism of the vandalism and stuff is they are flipping these cars and immediately pulling out their phones. So it's like, flip the car, but do you have to like put it on your social media and prove that you're like this outstanding hero of like of civil rights? Like they're doing it almost to get confirmation from other people online. Like, look, we came and this is what we did. I don't see any reason to film an illegal crime and put on your social media if it wasn't getting some sort of recognition. And it's good. It's positive reinforcement, which I disagree with. But
especially because you can get like if you see that, it's like, hey, I did this, then it's like, oh, well, then you're getting arrested.
Yeah, first off, there's going to be so many charges following this. Like, people act like they're going to get away. There's going to be tons of charges, especially with the curfews. I'm sure people were out when they weren't supposed to. And I think it's weird that they're so chauvinistic. They need this like approval online from people they don't even know, more than likely, or even people that were there that saw people do it and stuff. Like, I just don't understand the motive of getting recognized for doing something like that insane. But maybe it works out. Maybe something good comes from it. I just don't see it right now.
So I actually think it's pretty cool that people are coming together and protesting. What happened to George Floyd is
unacceptable.
Very, very unacceptable, and people have a right to be outraged by that. What I don't agree with is the people going into these small businesses and looting them, breaking their windows, breaking cop cars, and taking over an entire Target. Like, that doesn't invoke change. And like in a news interview with George Floyd's wife, she basically says he'd be very, very sad to see what is happening in his name. He definitely wouldn't want this, you know. I just think there's a better way to deal with this emotion.
I think there was an interview with his mom where she said, you know, what happened to him is wrong, and I think everyone agrees. And she said, what happened to him is wrong, but with where I am living right now, this is all wrong also, and I wish I was where he is now, because that would be better than this.
It's a shame. That's a shame, man, to hear from, like, the mom. You know, parents, I think in general want the best for their kids, so I'm sure this is not the ideal way. She's trying to grieve right now. His girlfriend or wife, any family is trying to grieve, and they're hearing his name 24/7, shouted in the streets, on posters, on the news. And to me, I would personally, if I ever die from some horrible, unacceptable way, I would not want this to happen. This would just make me feel so awful. So.
And then people are like doing it, and they're like, oh, but they have insurance. It's like, that doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to.
You're justifying your actions. You obviously feel bad about it, but you found a justification that you're okay with.
Yeah, and it's like it's really weird. I don't understand how the rationale, like, is, oh, hey, we need to protest police violence and brutality by burning down a bunch of African American businesses. How does that doesn't make sense?
I think if you're destroying property that has nothing to do with like the real act of violence that happened, then what was the point of? I mean, I get like they're trying to send a message to, you know, police officers around the nation, even just like
the biggest counter argument.
Saying that.
The biggest counter argument I see is that, well, we've tried peace, so now we have to try this. But I was mentioning this to Dano. Me and him were talking about it because we're trying to like really understand where they're coming from. I do understand police brutality is an issue. I understand that side, but the way they say there's nothing else we could do. And I just disagree, because a lot of things they complain about can be changed at your state level, and you can elect officials into office who better represent you. But we know from polls that this young generation there are a lot of talk and not a lot of action. They say they're going to vote, they tell people to vote, but they're not going out and voting. We saw that in the presidential election. We see that in the local state elections. It's like, these are things you can actually do that you would see difference from. You know, you don't have to have lifetime politicians. You can find people who better suit your interests, but they're not going out and they're not voting. And to me, that's a much better, try that out before you have to raid innocent businesses, even if they're corporate businesses. And they're attacking capitalism at the same time. You know, it's a multi-narrative protest, of course. But to me, it's just like, this was not the ideal way, and I think some people will look back and regret what they did. I'd hope.
I would say, just from all of us here at Prosaic Podcast, find a way to do this peacefully, and stay safe.
My sister, I love her to death, but she live recorded the video of the cop car getting turned upside down, and like I say, I brought it up earlier, you saw 10 smartphones instantly come up to film it. Kids are still around there. That car exploded. There are some people very close to the blast of that car. So lucky no one was hurt from the explosion of the car, let alone the car didn't have to get flipped. The car didn't have to get set afire and explode. But people weren't even thinking about that. They were just thinking about getting a video of a cool flaming car, throwing like cans of aerosol on top of it, and then the actual engine exploded. It was filled with gasoline and oil. Like, someone could have really gotten hurt for a protest that didn't have to turn violent, that was advertised as nonviolent, where it was supposed to be maintaining social distancing. Instead, they just blocked up the streets and enforced a curfew that didn't have to happen. There's a city just in northern Utah called Ogden that had a super successful, safe protest. They voiced their opinions. The officers embraced the citizens. Like, there's this big narrative going around that all cops are bad, but I have police in my family, and I know that's not the case. I would say the statement, the majority of cops go to that job to try to make better change. Like, that's the story I hear. It's not, I'm going to become a cop to abuse the citizens. It's, I'm going to go to the cop because I want to see change.
Do you think the Ogden protest was different because they had a cop die not that long ago on a domestic abuse call? Like, that was still fresh in their memories. Like, they had a thing for him yesterday where they rode like police bikes and stuff down the street with him in an ambulance in a coffin. He went to a domestic abuse call, and the husband was trying to shoot the wife and shot the cop instead.
I think that could be a part.
It puts it into perspective for sure. I mean,
the Ogden police probably were a lot more careful, maybe. And I don't think it's either side. This is the thing that bugs me, is people are like, well, one person incites the violence, one person starts it all. It's like, every one of those people are like responsible for their own actions. Like, we're not holding the individual accountable anymore, which is super weird because they're pushing this narrative that we're all individuals and we all have our own beliefs and we need to come together into a big culture. And then they say, well, one guy started breaking stuff, so we all had to. It's like, no one had to follow that guy. If that one guy's busting up stuff and no one else did, that one guy would have been stopped and charged properly. But instead, people join in like they have no control. And I understand emotion's a part of that, but you're still an individual responsible for your own actions. And you're doing these things on your own will. No one forced you to run in that Target, raid it, flip shit over. Like, you're just following the mob. So I don't like that excuse either, where it's, well, I mean, one person starts it and then it just goes crazy. It's like, well, everyone followed though.
So from all of us here at the Prosaic Podcast, stay safe. Don't do anything dumb. We'll see you next week.